Welcome to my channel, Crafty Fox DIYs. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 projects using metal items. All of these can be found at various dollar stores and thrift shops, what have you. I hope this video provides you some inspiration in creating your own home decor. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, I'm starting this off with a really simple project. This is just a metal pitcher that I picked up from Goodwill, and I'm putting a window cling on there, just getting some water on the back and sticking it on. And this window cling could be changed out for different seasons and different holidays. So that's why I'm not putting it on there permanently. And then I just cut some gladiolas from my garden and stuffed those down into the pitcher. And that is it for this project. Now for this second project, I'm using some items that I would normally throw away. I have a pie tin that has a hole in it, a tin can. It's one of the larger ones that like spaghetti sauce comes in. And then this is a plastic, it was part of a plastic container that a large pot pie came in. And I'm just taking some metallic spray paint and spray painting all 3 of these pieces, even the pie plate, so that way you couldn't really tell much of a difference, but there was enough of a difference to tell a difference in the color. So I wanted to have them all match perfectly. So that's why I spray painted it also. You could paint yours whatever color you want. I just chose to make mine look like metal. Although the tin can and the pie plate are metal, I wanted the plastic on the bottom. And you can use whatever you have. If you have a charger, you want to use that instead for the base, whatever. But this was basically a free project right here. The only thing that's costing me anything was the spray paint and then the glue, and I had all of that stuff on hand already. So I'm using Fix-All by Super Glue and hot glue to hold all of the pieces together. Now I'm taking just some black acrylic paint and I'm just kind of distressing around the metal a little bit. And I'm going to do this just not all over, just here and there around the rim. And I'm also going to do this on the tin can as well, so that everything matches and, looks cohesive. And now it's time to decorate. And what I have decided to do for right now for the summertime is to make like a little fairy garden in my tiered tray. And this little house here, we have some rambunctious little kittens and they knocked this house off and broke it. So I just hot glued some moss onto the house. And I didn't do anything with these houses. I just picked up all of this stuff from Dollar Tree. This is, stuff that I've had for, that I just purchased recently and also from years back. And I also put some rocks that I just picked up. Sometimes I see a rock and like it, so pick it up, bring it home. And so the couple of those in there from that. And this is an ivy vine, and I wrapped it all the way around. And then I'm going to put some fairy lights in here. And the ones I'm using right now are multicolored. And you'll see here in a second that I decide I need to take that vine back down. I'm putting in some moss right here. I believe I got this moss at Walmart. I think it's fine. Okay, here we are with the fairy lights. And then I start to wrap it around and I realize that vine is in the way, so I take that back off. And this pie tin had a hole in it. It was given to me along with some other things, and I believe that it had possibly been used to hang in a garden, to scare critters away. So I'm utilizing that hole to feed the fairy lights up through so that I can put some lights in the top as well. Then once I get, a few little lights in the top, I'm going to wrap it around the bottom of the pie plate at the top of the tin can, and this will provide light into the bottom. Then I'm going to take that vine and I'm going to bring it back up to the top and wrap it around. One good thing about using the rocks was that I was able to use it to help hold the vine in place where I wanted to, and also I could use the house and other objects in there as well. Okay, now for this third project, I'm using this metal mailbox. You can find these at Dollar Tree and other places, but this one was given to me, and I spray painted it white, but I ran out of white paint, so I didn't get it completely covered like on the bottom and everything, but that was okay. And I'm also using window clings on this, and the reason for that is the same as with the picture. I'm not, gluing these down using Mod Podge or anything, so that way I can remove them and change them out for the seasons. And I like birds, so
I decided I was going to put these bird window clings onto the mailbox. Once again, I'm just using water, putting that on the back of the window cling and sticking it to the metal mailbox. It sticks fairly easy because it is made of metal. And then, like for Halloween or whatever, Christmas, I can change those right out. Okay, now for this fourth project, this was just a flower hook that the hook part, the hanger part, I guess you would say, broke off of the back. And this had some awful, I don't know what it was painted with, but there was some kind of glitter like stuff on there. And I didn't like the color at all. But I used some sanding block to remove as much of that as I could. And then I am painting the flower. I wanted to make it match my kitchen. So I'm using colors that look good in my kitchen. And so the flower petals are red, and then I'm going to paint the center of it yellow. And then the leaves, stem, and the little hook parts where you hang things from, I'm painting those green. And I'm using two different colors of green. The second color of green I'm going to use is called Apple Orchard, and it very closely matches the colors that are on my wall. I will have the colors of the paints listed down in the description box. I can tell you that these paints are by Fantastory, except for the Apple Orchard, and that is by Folk Art. So then after I get it all painted and it's dry, then I'm just going to take this piece of jute twine to recreate a hanger for it. Because, like I said, the one that was on there, as you can see, I'm going to point that out, it was broken off. So I'm going to use this jute twine to create a new hanger. I searched out different options, different things I could do, and I like how this turned out. I tested it out at first, and I like the little bow on there on the top, because you'll see when I hang it up here how the little bow is. I think it looks cute on there. And then I just hung it by our back door and put some keys to locks that we have outside so they're easily accessible. Okay, now for this last project, I did not hit record and I didn't realize it till I was into it a little bit. So what I'm showing you here is a tin that you can purchase at Dollar Tree. I got mine at Goodwill, but they do have these at Dollar Tree and they have different kinds of them. And then I'm making a wagon is what I'm making here. And I glued using Fix-All and hot glue a board, just a piece of a board onto the bottom of the tin so that way I could attach the wheels and the handle. And I just used an old fork to make the handle. And I just glued that into place using Fix-All and hot glue as well. And then I also put a piece of duct tape on top to make sure that it stayed in place while the glue dried. Now to make the wheels, I just used wooden dowel rods that I cut down to fit so that once I glued the lids, these are lids from pickle jars and Smucker's jelly jars. And I'm using Fantastory paint to paint these with. The color is lamp black. I remember that very well. And I'm also painting the wood on the bottom and the bottom of the tin so that way everything looks good together. It just looks like it's mechanical parts. And underneath there, because the Smucker lids are smaller than the pickle jar lids, I had to off-center the wooden dowel rod, the axle, on those lids. And then once I glue those onto the wagon, I will make sure that I have it lined up right so that it'll be the taller part, if you understand what I'm saying. The part that's, okay, the smaller part where the lid is, like you're going to have, see how I'm showing here, one part's taller, one part's shorter. The shorter part's going to go toward the wagon, so that way I'll have more wheel down so that the two will be lined up. So that way the wagon will sit level. And then I'm going to use Fix-All and hot glue to attach the wheels with the axles onto this wood, the wood piece that I glued onto the bottom. And there we go. And I had trouble with this one because it was off center. It wanted to roll. The heavier part wanted to come down. So what I decided to do also, after I realized that it's just going to keep rolling on me, I also put a piece of duct tape on there to help hold it into place until the glue dried. And then once I get that down, there I am putting the duct tape on. I was like, this has got to stay in place. I need that to, be in the right place. Okay, so then I take the same color of the black paint there, and I'm going to paint over the duct tape, and then I decided I'm going to go ahead and paint the axles as well. I was originally going to just leave those wood, but I decided to go ahead and paint those and just make it all cohesive. So once I get that painted, then I cut the flowers off the stems. I didn't want just the bunches. I wanted to have more control over exactly where the flowers were so that I could get the exact placement that I wanted. And then I realized I should probably be gluing my styrofoam down in here. So I glued it down and it won't wobble around anymore. And then I just put my flowers in. These are just some random flowers that I had. I had a bunch of flowers given to me, and these were in an arrangement together, and some of the flowers did not go together at all, but I like these together in this wagon because it, brings the colors on the wagon up into the arrangement. Okay, let's take one final look at all of these projects.
Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.